What? Sorry,
I think you are.
I am actually. Because one of the streams is open. Yeah. if you put it there. All right, so we're a couple minutes after, we will go ahead and get started. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now I'd like to add in just a brief moment of silence for all those affected with the events from last week in Lewiston, and then also we had one town employee who lost a member of their family this week as well. I think we could have a quick moment of silence. All right, thank you. All right, adjustments to the agenda. I'd like to add under new business. I'd like to add a new A and shift everything down. We need to discuss special town meeting and tax commitments. I want to do that before we get into anything else. And we'll shift everything else down. Any other additions? Okay. All right, so we'll start with the approval of the minutes from our regular meeting on October 12th.
I like saying those in here.
I make a motion to accept as written. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for the minutes on October 12th. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? One abstain. Comprehensive plan update. Do any of us have anything?
I don't have any updates.
Okay.
Last time when they were waiting on Diane to type it up or something like that.
Yep.
She did get the ag part to us. So.
Mhm. All right. We'll check that one off. ACO absence protocol. You want to talk about that one, or you want to?
You can go ahead if you want.
All right, so it kind of goes along with C under new business. Carol and I talked about it a little bit. Not sure how much we want to investigate or continue the conversation with Livermore Falls. With Livermore at the moment, because county is looking at doing a regional program.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm gonna reach out, we can talk about it more with the new business, but I'm looking to see about reaching out to them and see what they're talking about for a timeline. And if it's gonna be sooner rather than later, then maybe we don't need to have the conversation to come up with a backup plan, because there might be something countywide coming, hopefully.
Perfect.
And now if we could get them to work on a CEO.
Seriously.
And a plumbing inspector and
Thank God.
some of the other things that aren't very difficult to fill, maybe
Yeah.
it would help us move forward a little bit. But So we can talk about that more in a few minutes,
Yeah,
but I think it's
it works.
something, if there is a regional option, maybe that might help us out, but if that's gonna be a while, we may have to go back to Plan B and continue with the contacts that we started to make.
Okay.
All right, personnel policy and paid sick time. So I did some research through a couple different towns, policies this afternoon. Just to see what other people were doing, for sick leave and paid leave. Most of them all have it broke out as X amount of personal / vacation time and then X amount of sick time as well. So I looked at, there's a few that do it by hours, there's a few that do it by days, it doesn't really matter either way. So I was kind of throwing around a few options, comparing to what some surrounding ones had done. I was looking at a possible option of, for regular full-time employees, 5 sick days a year, part-time employees, 2 sick days a year. Oh,
Sounds fair.
if those numbers are too high, too low, in the middle, I
And
was
we're-
just going by a number of hours and.
I think that's a reasonable starting place.
Is
Yeah,
it part-time was what, I'm sorry, Brian?
two.
Two?
Yeah, 5 for regular full-time, 2 for part-time.
Did you say, did any of them do accrued hours? Is that?
There were a few, one of them, I think it was Wyndham's that I looked at, I believe theirs was 3 point something hours per every bi-weekly paycheck.
That's
That's how much they pulled in.
Used to do it. It was X amount of hours per X amount of hours.
Stuff here.
Yeah.
But they also do their personal time that way too, right?
Right, yeah, their personal time is done the same way, right there.
And ours isn't currently.
Ours is actually by hours,
Yes.
So,
not days.
so it's an
Per
hour
person.
accrual. Okay.
So theirs is 3.6923 hours of paid sick leave per every bi-weekly pay period.
And
That's
for,
for regular full-time employees.
for the combination of the two or just for
This is
one?
just sick leave,
Okay,
3.6923 hours.
That's like 2.5 weeks by the end of the year. If you accrue.
That,
3 hours.
Yeah.
Cause a lot of them.
Times
They'll let you accrue it,
26.
but you can't roll it.
and then, but this you can, theirs you can roll, you can accrue it up to may accumulate 720 hours.
Wow.
That-
Is that union?
I have no idea if Wyndham's union. or
I guess so.
not.
Because my sick time, I accrue so many hours per
Mhm.
whatever. And I get to a certain point, I have a cap.
Yeah.
But if I leave the company or whatever, I don't get paid out.
Mhm.
I lose it.
that's 3.6923 bi-weekly is their sick time?
That's what it says. It says regular full-time employees are granted 3.6923 hours of paid sick leave per
3.6923
bi-weekly pay period.
times 26
Mhm.
is
almost 100 hours.
95, yeah, it's almost,
It's
it's
a lot.
96 hours.
Yeah,
That's more than 2 weeks
Yeah,
of
so-
sick
Mhm.
time, and then they got
But-
personal time on top of them.
yeah, but if you actually think about it, they're not the only
That's
ones that do a lot. The school does 18. So, well, it's 15, sorry, 15 sick, 3 personal.
How do they feel
That
the
seems a
day
bit
of
much
month?
for us.
Yeah.
Their crew is a day a month.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
A day a month.
Like I said, that's why I just threw out 2 and 5. I don't know if
That
that,
works.
I mean, it's a starting point. We don't have any now.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's something to at least start and,
Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't work, we can always revisit it and say, hey, that's not enough or that's too much. I mean.
Well, I mean, we started now and can reevaluate in June or whatever when
Mm-hmm.
we end the fiscal year.
Yep, definitely.
When are you gonna start? Immediately or at the first of the year? Or in January, start accruing or whatever? I don't know how you keep track of it.
I would say probably if we started it if we back it, we can back it up.
How can you back it up?
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Do it December first,
Yeah, we could start it December 1st.
and January first.
And would we do a fresh, okay, would we do a start at the start of the new year, or are we looking to do a fresh start at, the start of the fiscal year?
It would be,
I would start it anew.
yeah,
So January
later on the-
first, everybody's at five and
Right.
5 or 2, depending on
No,
what they're
you-
working.
yeah, you could. Normally we would start it new on July 1.
Right,
Alright, so if
But-
you start it on January first,
Mhm.
full-time employees get 2.5
Right,
of one.
Yeah.
Until you
Yep,
get to
that's
June
fine.
and then you
Yeah.
can start
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
in
fine.
full.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, okay, so us not rolling it over would be clean slate, July 1 every year.
yep, exactly.
So we're not gonna roll it all.
To
I'm
me, it
just
seems
asking.
cleaner to try to keep track of if we just,
So we're not gonna allow accrual. Let's take that. I'm just asking,
Accrual
That
of sick
was-
time?
right, if we reset it, it wouldn't be having accrual of sick time,
Well, do we allow accrual of personal time?
yes.
Is there a cap on it?
Yeah, is there a cap? There's a lot of places that do accrual, put a cap on it. Like, you can't earn any more once you have X amount,
right,
or you have to use it.
use or lose it.
Mhm.
The school used to do that with PTO, right? Use it or lose it.
No, ours rolls. We
Indefinitely,
can roll up to X amount, so many days per year.
okay,
And then you can
So-
get paid out for so many days per year,
okay,
and, but that's also union, so.
right, and we don't pay out for unused, we just roll it over for personal time right now.
I'm looking at.
I'm asking you a lot of questions.
Interesting stuff I don't have in my head, hang on.
I'm calling you.
I'm trying to make it make sense in my head.
So the one I have on here is not the newest, but.
I'd cap it at 2 years worth,
Yes,
as far as the accrual, and then
Mhm.
yeah,
I don't
That's fine.
know.
Yeah. I make a motion, we cap it at 2 years,
Finally,
So that'd be a technically.
Ten.
So 10.
Employee could.
10 and 4.
10 and 4.
Yep.
Yeah. And then they don't earn any more after that as
Mhm.
if they, unless they use it, yeah.
the next part that goes with it, if the employee retires or resigns, do they get it paid out or not?
Isn't there a difference between resignation and retiring in my book?
Yes,
Retirement, I would say, yes. Resignation, I don't know that I go along with that.
Termination.
Or maybe definitely.
Well, do we pay out our personal time now if someone leaves?
Yes,
I'm reading, I'm not ignoring, I'm reading.
Yes, we do,
Okay,
So I was just looking for if there was a limit on how much is what I
because
was
it's
trying-
designated as paid time off, not.
right,
Vacation.
right, yeah, that's,
Not all places pay out sick.
mhm.
Yeah,
yeah, I,
I could go either way with it.
I mean, if we're paying out our earned time off. And then the sick time is an extra,
Mhm.
so people don't have to use their paid time off. If they're sick.
Right,
I don't think we should pay that out if a person leaves.
I agree.
They can cash out their personal time, whatever they have left, we'll pay that out.
Yep.
But not sick time that we're doing that extra so they don't have to use their personal time if they're sick.
Like,
Yeah, I'm good with that.
sounds good. 5, 3, 10 and 4.
Do we have to vote on that?
Well, there's one more thing I want to talk
Oh,
about
okay.
too. I'm very needy tonight, I warned you. ahead
Well,
of
we
time.
have to add that into the policy and then vote on
And
it.
then
Yeah.
vote on the updates. Yep. The
Yeah.
other thing I want to talk about in personnel policy is our bereavement leave. Currently, that's listed as 3 days. The wording around it, I would like to add in additional paid leave may be granted by the Board of Selectmen.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
I don't know if you wanna add like part-time, because it clearly says only full-time employees. That's why.
I say we strike that
Yeah.
out altogether and just say
Everybody,
employees bereavement time
yeah,
is 3 days additional leave granted by the board.
Yeah,
I'm in agreement with that, for sure.
pain is pain, whether you're part-time or
And,
full-time.
yeah, and it's, and we have it, all of our contracts with the school have always been
Yeah.
additionally granted by the superintendent. And like I say, when I was looking for the sick time, I went through, I looked at Wyndham's, and, yeah, graded lobsters, and theirs was the same thing,
Mhm.
so it's one of those things that I personally can't say no to, so. It's, as
Yeah.
long as it's within reason.
Absolutely.
Yep, I agree.
All right, so we'll have those come back for the next meeting and we can sign off on those.
Smells really good in here. I'm smelling pumpkin spice and cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Okay,
There you
I'm
go.
like.
All right, community bylaws for out of town residents. I think we actually put that to bed last time, didn't we?
I think you needed to do the,
That keeps going on the email, didn't it?
No, that came out through an email, so,
Signed, right?
No.
No,
It
It's
was already in
already-
place.
it's already
Yeah.
in the bylaws.
Yeah. It's already in the existing,
For the record.
right,
Yeah,
Rec committee.
Yeah.
Didn't do anybody else.
yeah, the rec committee specifically states in the bylaws that it could be Canton and surrounding towns for residents.
that was a quick and easy one. All right,
Well, that's why I had it on here. Brian asked the bylaw to be sent to the board and have them on the meetings agenda.
Yeah.
That was in the meetings.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, and I think after you sent that, I'm like, ooh, yay, look.
Yeah,
guys,
it's
that's
already
it
in
right
there, so, yep.
All right.
All right, fiscal year 22 draft audit. Has anybody else had some great reading time to read through that yet?
That'd be a big no. I'll
Okay.
just be honest, no.
Is that, we didn't print it out for me?
Yep.
I've made it. Through a few pages.
Okay. So I went through it quite a bit this afternoon. The first thing one thing that I found, Ange, they still have the access channel reserve listed in that audit. However, in the town meeting on Thursday, June 10th, 21. Article.
Yeah, because they were all listed individually.
Yep.
They did.
Well, oh, right there, unemployment. Article number 42. The town voted to close it out. The other two that we voted to close out that night don't show in the audit, but for some reason the access channel one still does. So that money was voted to go back into the general fund. Other than that, I haven't found anything out so far, reading through it.
I'll contact the person who sent it to us and have an update.
Yeah. Cause that 3,000 and change should actually be in the general fund, not in that audit fund. Should be, there's currently it's 3,584 is listed as the access reserve. But that shouldn't be there. Anything else on the budget so far? Okay. Excuse me, Hayward Court update?
You'll see an email in there from Scott. I don't know if you all have seen it. I think it's about,
And I forwarded it to everybody today. So I don't think anybody, nobody's read it yet.
So I thought.
You can have, you can have another.
He said, I haven't got to it.
I don't know. What is it? It's done. Ooh. Did that send a letter about the UCI? Just that.
All right, I'm sure there'll be another one. Thoughts on the email from Scott?
I have not been up there to look myself, but I don't agree with his summary. It doesn't apply. Just saying.
I haven't seen the statute itself, so I have to familiarize myself with the.
3 unregistered motor vehicles.
Right.
And I know he came in like last week to register a lot of vehicles, so.
So he's doing it after this. Yeah.
Oh, so it's
Yeah, so
after,
he's covering the,
Yes.
yeah,
right, yeah. and if
right,
they're
if they're
registered,
registered, we can't wait.
I
Right.
don't know which vehicles he has there. I've not
It's,
been up
from what I
there.
understand, over the years, it's just a constant turnover of
Mhm.
vehicles.
Sounds like my neighbor.
Kind of.
All
I
right,
have not been up there to see it. I guess we gotta go by the code enforcement officer. and
Yeah,
it is,
if he's coming in and registering or. yeah.
right, so I guess unless it becomes a further issue. it really
Mhm.
depends.
yep, we had the code enforcement officer go to look at it, and he said we're okay, so
Yeah.
move forward and
Yeah,
go from there.
You actually register a junk vehicle, sticking in the yards. Just register.
well,
Mm.
I don't
That's
know.
what it sounds like happening. Must love those junk vehicles.
Well, I mean, he's paying, I don't know what they consider junk. I haven't seen them, so.
Isn't it? Something that has to be operational?
That I don't know.
It's just gotta be.
Yeah, I think you can register any vehicle you want, whether or not it has a sticker is another
That's all,
story.
yeah,
That could be.
yeah, we can talk about inspection, then
Yeah.
that's a whole other ballgame.
Location at, is that the Hazel Court?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is that a street, Hazel Court? Obviously.
yeah,
yep,
I know that.
some people call it cat alley,
That beyond the variety store.
just past Canton variety.
on the right hand side.
Dead end street.
Okay.
Just-
Doesn't
just
even
as
really
you
look
start
like a
to head.
road.
It looks like you're going on the driveway.
Mhm.
You kind of are,
Mhm.
Are we saying on the right at the Canton variety? I thought we were staying straight, going up there.
but.
Yeah,
Straight up.
head, just as you
Okay.
start up the hill, like you're going to the lake on the right hand side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you-
All right. New business. Special town meeting and tax commitment. So due to canceling the last meeting last week, we could not have our special town meeting tonight due to posting requirements per MMA legal department, so we need to pick another date and make a plan. I also had Angie reach out today, asking, and you'll see it, it's right, the email's right behind the agenda. Reached out asking, if the board was to submit taxes tonight and use the entire budget number, could we then hold a special town meeting after the fact and possibly reduce taxes for their second payment? Because that would at least get things in motion and kind of get started. I was pretty sure I knew the answer, but I had her send it off anyways.
You get a big fat no.
And we get a big fat no. So, what we need to do is pick the date to which we are going to hold our special town meeting and set our tax rate and tax due dates.
When you read that?
Was that last week that was supposed to happen?
Yes,
Last week,
Yeah,
that's
Can't
posted.
hold it this week.
correct.
Correct, because we didn't have enough time to legally post.
Bye-bye.
No, listen to see when the next.
Oh.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do right now is pick the date. That's, yep.
And hopefully there's not going to be anything that the world goes.
Right.
Exactly.
We needed more than a week to post it.
Yep, you need more. It has to be posted for more than 7 days. So
Yeah.
that's why we unfortunately couldn't hold it tonight.
When are you guys back?
So I will not be back until the 19th. I
You're
fly home on the
back until-
19th, the 20th, 21st and 22nd, I have meetings already scheduled. For myself.
When are you back?
I am out of cushion until after Thanksgiving. Monday after Thanksgiving, so don't wait for me if.
Well, I was gonna say, it looks like Monday after Thanksgiving, the first one we could do. Yeah, that's not
Yep.
unfortunate. I don't know about you two girls, but
So
I'm not comfortable with it just being the three of us doing it.
No, I'd rather
say
have,
for me, I can't
At
do it
4
until
to
like the
5.
27th.
Yeah.
That's about the first date that I can do it.
Yeah.
Unless we wanted to try to do it on a weekend, which I could possibly do it on like the 25th. But at that point, I might as well wait,
You
I
might
might
just
as well
go
wait
wait
2
till-
days.
Yeah.
yeah,
27th.
nobody's gonna
Nobody's
come
gonna
on
come
the
to that.
25th.
Yeah.
And I'm right, I mean, I'm looking at like Thanksgiving weekend, people that are traveling.
Yep.
You know.
No way.
We're lucky that people can make it on the 27th if they can.
Yeah, I think that's the only option we have, or the best option we have.
Cause I really don't wanna push it out to December.
I didn't want to push it out to the end of November,
I don't either,
No.
but I also,
but technically, if it has to be posted more than 7 days, even if I could slide my schedule on Thursday next week,
yeah,
it doesn't count, because,
Right,
right, Angie? Yeah, so if we posted tomorrow, the best we could do is Friday next week, and I'll be in Miami, so.
yeah, so I just don't. I don't think it's a fair representation if only 3 out of the 5 of us are here to do that.
Yep.
So,
I would, suggest possibly the 28th instead of 27th, where it's Thanksgiving weekend, if people are
Could be,
traveling,
yeah.
you know what I think
Yeah.
that. Give it on Tuesday instead of Monday,
agreed.
that's fine. One more day at that point isn't gonna,
yeah,
Mm,
unless
that
it's
school
school
board night?
board.
If it is, it's fine, I'll get someone to cover. It's not a big deal. I don't think it is, because I think the school board is 7th and 21st, so.
November 28th.
November 20, what time are
Yeah.
we thinking?
Well,
November 28th, 6 o'clock.
There is the Deerfield High School board meeting that same night.
Yep. I will have it covered by somebody else.
I turned the signs up and it hasn't picked in, so what's wrong with that?
I thought it got colder in here when you turned it up.
Yeah, something,
If it has, the switch may be off upstairs.
What? That's a face.
Turn the,
What's that face?
turn the heat pump up.
Has it done to?
Turn the heat
Do
pump
my
up.
best to get here.
Because the heat, if the furnace can kick on, I would just turn that up.
Auburn.
It's already said it's 72.
It's
I
not
think-
something. Is the mode correct?
Is that a car or set the thing together? I heard
Yeah.
I didn't say, it just,
that was like a turbo boost taking in.
Yes, I can hit the button, right? There we go.
I don't mind being.
Yeah, it's on second.
That should be kicking in.
I should. I should be here.
So we're changing the due date?
We-
On the warrant?
We'll be doing all of that that night.
Well, I need to get the warrant out, so, you know what I'm saying?
See, we need the date that we're
Yeah.
changing it to. Yep. So let's see, if that's the 28th. How many weeks do we want to give people? Maybe right before Christmas,
well, we're gonna be in December anyway, right?
right?
Oh, yeah.
It's either gonna be right before or right after.
I would say the 15th or the 30th.
It's gotta be more than the 15th,
30th.
because if
30th.
we don't set it until the 28th. You figure we still gotta get all the tax bills printed, stuffed, mailed.
And I'm just throwing a date out there because I don't even know what actual day it falls on.
No, I'm just-
December.
I was just saying, because that's 28th is Tuesday, so then you figure time to,
Well, December 30th is a Saturday, so 29th would be.
Yeah. Yeah. So noontime on the 29th.
Second one for,
The second one is May, I believe, 7th. 8th,
yep, I think it's Wednesday.
that's close.
Yep. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
So December.
December 29th at noon.
Happy Christmas, folks.
Mhm. But still give
Mm.
those that want to the time to pay it on this year's.
Right, I
Taxes.
mean,
No, I'm just saying it gives those that want to get it on out of this year's
Yeah.
financials. they can
Yeah,
still
the
pay it out
other
of
thing
this year's
is, they were
financials.
gonna be doing December anyway.
Right.
So,
That's what I mean. It's either gonna be
Yeah.
the week
Yeah.
before Christmas or
Yeah.
before after, either the week before or the week after. So if we give them the week after, that gives an extra little bit of time.
right,
Dear family
So-
and friends, all I want for Christmas is tax money.
All right, that's done.
Yay.
Stand for seniors.
All right. I did talk to Andy, just to see if that was anything that they would be willing to help with, to deliver the 5 gallon buckets. And, I mean, he obviously said he didn't want it to deter anything else that he had going on, and I, we don't want it to make it a burden, but he said he would be willing to make it happen if we decided to, so, the big thing would be, setting a date for people to, like, call into the office, or if we wanted to set up an application to get into it. For most towns, it's just 65 or older, and if you are unable to get winter sand on your own. So they would deliver a bucket by a certain date, and then you just call the office, or, when you need a new bucket delivered, and so we'll just swap out one bucket for the other,
Right.
so type thing.
Mhm.
So I don't know if we were on board with setting something for like the 1st of December for people to call in, and if there's interest, maybe. I could make up a flyer, we could post it, like the variety or the Big Apple, just to get the word out a little bit. But that's the basics of what I come up with.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk to Andy at all about it?
I wasn't at the last meeting. so-
Okay, no, I knew you didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you happened to have a conversation with him about it, so. But yeah,
The only thing that would concern me is if we get a week where we have back-to-back storms or something, and people call in and need their buckets refilled, but the guys are in bed or,
Mm.
yeah.
winging
Well,
stuff back or something like that, how would we handle it then?
The big thing I noticed with a lot of other towns is they're doing it in conjunction with their police department, and they're using it as like a welfare checkup on the
Mhm.
elderly, which is
Yeah.
great. And it kind of gets the police to have an idea of where those people
Mhm.
are and how they're doing. Obviously, we don't really have that option here. I could reach out to Chris and see if that's, but I can't imagine. They're so thin anyways. Yeah, so, I mean,
I guess if for some reason. The guys down there can't do it, I mean, you do the evenings.
Mhm.
You know, and haul a few around.
yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to help if, if things
Can we
were,
do like a volunteer list, like in this one?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
I'd be willing to help out with that, like, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
And maybe that's,
That's
and
a good
maybe
idea.
that's the way to go
Just
about
volunteer,
it.
anybody wants to volunteer, you don't spend another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be the
At
way.
least like 2 or 3 on the reserve
Yeah.
list, I mean.
Yeah,
so I know I'd be willing.
Good idea,
to help.
thank you.
You're welcome.
so I can put together a flyer and then email it to you guys and see what you guys think, and then, put December 1st as a deadline to call in.
And
How do we know if they're 65 or older?
That's what I'm wondering.
I know.
Should it be a paper thing or instead of a call in?
Well, there is an application in some towns, so we could create a simple
I-
application with the date of
think-
birth and,
More comfortable with that. than-
or, and an address and
Yeah.
contact info.
Yeah.
Um,
And if we could have a volunteer sign up sheet in the office, Angie, for like hung ups with. So if anybody does want to volunteer to help out deliver sand, they can sign up with the contact number.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
wonder
would
if
get-
anybody from the fire department would be willing to help with something like that.
Oh, I'm sure. but-
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it,
I don't know how many people we would have interested, honestly. I don't have a good handle on that.
The other thing we could do too is reach out to the food pantry,
Oh, that's a good idea.
because more than likely,
they know.
a
what
good
they-
amount of people that may be
Yeah.
using this program are actually using the food pantry as well.
Yeah,
So would that be something that, hey, they're coming here to do a food pickup, the
They
same
can
file
fill it
right there,
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
oh, yeah.
could we do something combined
Yeah.
And
with
I,
them by chance?
and I
or-
know they've delivered food to people that
Oh,
actually
yeah.
cannot get out here,
Yeah.
so I'm sure they could deliver a bucket of sand too if need be.
Yeah,
Just a thought, and not there again, not to add anything to their plate, but if they,
yeah.
if they have the time, then,
I can reach out to Helen, right? She's.
Helen or Jim.
Or Jim, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I can reach out to them and see. If they'd be interested in working with us on it.
And I think, I think the fire department, put it through numbers, would be more than willing to, but it would be in the evening hours when the availability would be during the day.
Right, and I would definitely put my name on the list of volunteers, but I'm not gonna be available every time somebody does it,
Right.
But like I will be able to help out when I can, for sure.
My brother's on the fire department, I'll make sure he's helping out, I'll volunteer him for it.
Voluntold.
Yeah.
Voluntold.
Never heard that one.
I think
Oh,
that-
that's a good-
Oh, that's a big military term, voluntold.
I think if you could add to your flyer that, like you said, if there's volunteers that would like to help.
Yeah.
Put their name into the office,
Yeah,
Yep.
that would be awesome.
I just think a paper trail would be easier to keep track of than phone calls and stuff.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think an address, and then having an
Yes.
address,
Yep.
then, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Confidential, but
Right,
on file.
mhm.
Yep.
That works.
Anything else on that one?
No, I think I'm good.
All right,
I put my buckets back down, but they're in the Connex.
Yep.
Down there before. Whenever I took them down.
Campbell Road culvert crossing.
Well, it had initially been, we were meeting with FEMA last week,
But that-
got canceled because of the lockdown. We're now meeting with them next week. So hopefully they can give us some pointers on what we have to do, cause. I think from what we
Go ahead.
gathered, it's gonna require one of those nice little engineered bids from people that do that stuff.
Yeah.
So. And
Yeah.
hopefully they can tell us sooner rather than later, because the deadline for us doing it is December 17th. Because it's X number of days after we talk with FEMA here.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Is it?
yes,
Off of that, yeah, you'll see the main recovery, email from FEMA. It says that funds will probably be coming in this month in January of 2024.
Right, I think that's
I think I'm-
for. The things that we've already
right,
completed.
it is, because this is going in separately now.
Right, because this is a separate project and the way the information, the feedback I got from you and Andy. Was that this is gonna have to be engineered and a lot of permits and stuff, and that stuff doesn't
right.
move
Right.
fast.
And because it's such a scope, they wanted to separate it from the work that we've already completed,
Right,
where this one
so I think
is not.
it would need to be looked at. To know exactly what we need to do, put out a spec bid to get people to bid on it, because it has to be done. According to the
Right.
Army Corps of Engineers,
Yeah.
the DEP, or.
Yeah, there's a whole
And
bunch of,
Honestly, I don't know, I don't remember the exact details, but I know the other thing too, when Russ had looked into it and then written the grant for it, there at one point. There was a certain time of year that the work had to be done because of the wildlife and the DEP stuff. There was a certain time of year that it could be done,
Right,
but. So it may be something that depending on what the guidelines and stuff are, we may have to, start it and then, okay, now we're in hold pattern until we hit that time, but I don't know. And but it may be too, the condition of the road at this point may trump that,
yeah,
but.
well, I think it's gonna be up to, see what happens Tuesday, I don't know who's
Yeah.
coming, if it's gonna be engineers to actually look at it,
they've never said, just thing.
right? But
There was a list of people coming. They sent an email to Andy and I, and there was a list of people coming.
Yeah, but it didn't have what their
No.
titles are, so.
So I don't know what. They're gonna do as an assessment or
I
what
hope
their
so.
plans are, so
What time is that on Tuesday?
I think Andy said
9.
9 o'clock.
Same as last time then.
And I unfortunately will be down in Auburn.
I'll cover for you.
Let's see what's going on.
Daytime is not good, I mean, admit,
I know.
during the midweek.
Yep.
Or during the weekend.
All right, so we're still in progress on that. Regional animal control. So that's what I mentioned earlier. If you look, there's a letter from the commissioner's office. Talking about, that they're looking into establishing a regional animal control program. And looking into the possibilities about it. So they're looking for, if we're interested, to reach out to them and say, yes, the town of Canton is interested in it, and,
Yes.
how would we move forward?
Yeah.
I would certainly say,
Absolutely.
see what you're offering and
Yep.
Mhm. Okay. Alright, I can give the commissioner's office a call and see who I need to talk to and go from there. I can do that, try to do that tomorrow, so it's done before.
Well, the other ones, Adam, too.
What else am I throwing out?
CEO, et cetera.
Yeah, heck
Start
yeah,
looking at that.
might as well.
There's so many small towns that can't afford one.
Yep. Should put that in the calendar.
Or should I say can't find one? Well, that has to be until. So. I hope,
Yeah, that's done.
I'm not that worried.
dedicated.
Die hard.
All right, job descriptions.
These are the ones you went over last time.
So the ones you have in your file are the ones that we went over at our last meeting. I went through, retyped them. Tried to make sure they're all formatted the same. Which took a little time, because I couldn't scan them
I have to
without.
do that.
Perfect, you can email them to me then. So the ones we had finished in our work session meeting were the town clerk, deputy clerk, and the public works foreman. Were the ones that we had finished. We also had finished the transportation. I ran out of time and didn't get that one typed, so we didn't have that one tonight, but. I will have that one typed up for our next meeting. Um, And then we also have Carol brought in the, full-time driver description as well, with some markups on it.
Some of it was just typo. Others were changing hours and so on. And then on the bottom of page 1. That holiday and vacation pay stuff is in the personnel policy, so that doesn't really need to be on there.
Nope, no, we don't. That's good.
And I was being grammatically sorry,
What's the difference? You got that leave for,
because we don't,
is it just X out or were you writing something in there in its place?
I know, I'm trying to figure out what I was doing with it. I did this like 2 weeks ago, so. I got to read it. What did it mean? It was just kind of randomly worded.
It doesn't fit the
Yeah.
sentence.
No, it does not.
It
So I
doesn't
was
even
like,
fit
what
there,
is-
so. No idea, just take it all together.
Yeah. And I changed spring cleanup to town cleanup because we've been shifting it around. when
Yeah,
it
we've done
happens.
different times.
Yeah.
Yep,
And that isn't completely written yet, the cemetery, park, ball field, et cetera. But- Then on page 2, that was a typo. Performing is not spelled right.
Mhm.
The next one was also not spelled right.
I would say this was scanned. So it's the same thing it'll do if I try to scan it.
Okay. And then, it looked like the word both was left out.
Yeah, both inside and
Yeah.
outside environments, yeah.
Oh, that's a bleed through from the front page, that on education. Yeah, that's a bleed through, so that's not supposed to be.
So under work environment,
Oh, yes, it is, it's. that's
Yeah,
supposed
that
to say
experience is, yeah,
It's all
experience is
screwed up,
struggling, yeah.
So. What was that?
under work environment.
Yep.
Out of doors, the first one is out of doors and maintenance garage work conditions, and the second one requires working inside, both inside and outside. Do you
Combine
have
the
both
two of those.
Yeah.
No, I'd say
Yep.
combine them both.
Or just eliminate the out of doors and maintenance garage. conditions?
Yeah, that
Leave
doesn't make much
That's fine.
sense. Yeah, delete that first one entirely.
Sounds good. And reword the second one.
Yeah. And it doesn't, the experience of the foreman doesn't apply on the driver number 2.
Right.
No, right.
And performing was misspelled again. Yeah. And then that was it.
Alright, so you think you do have that digital?
I'm 99.9%.
Okay, so if you do and you can send it my way, that'd be great.
I suppose.
And if you don't, you're
Yeah.
happy like you did, right? But
Yeah, I do.
it would save me a few hours if you have it.
Yep.
Thoughts on the initial 3?
I'm good with them.
Are we good to approve those?
Yep.
Yeah,
To sign it and moving forward?
Yeah, those were, what we did at our work, right?
and we
Yep.
have a red pen, so,
Yep.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
okay.
Yeah, they have the other things.
I just realized we're missing something on this agenda.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so,
It's all right, let me get started.
What needs to go on a diet again?
I put the same thing in mind today. Alright.
I don't have to do that. Can I get one more? You don't keep
Start that
it.
down there, you guys want to sign that, and I'll pass it down.
It's all one.
Yep. That is the Oh, sorry. Sorry.
That's okay.
Somebody was, is it? We want to do, you want to say, look, does that have to scan first?
Well, I just put, sprinkle it after everybody signs it, and put the title, and these in the front.
That's certainly a good thing for you, want some.
He's first in line, so he kind of,
I was trying to make it easy.
he's first in line, so he kind of gets to choose or
I
not.
know, right?
I don't think she really understood that what this was.
Hey, it's your pen.
Sure.
I'm just gonna use
It's
everybody.
blue,
I
but-
only got black, red.
Oh, yep.
I can't sign in red.
But
I'm gonna go back and forth between you and Christie.
Thank you.
My horse is like, okay, I'm gonna mess it up.
when she filled this out,
Maybe not, she's taking.
Somebody promised me when it's gonna be here long. So
We're
my
not
horse is,
almost done.
and my horse is gonna figure out doing.
We're almost done. Sorry. Well, if you hadn't brought this one, in, we could have done this a little quicker. Fine.
I did the work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, what somebody does.
Which one did we mess up on?
You messed up barrels twice.
Perfect.
I didn't do what I need to.
Just scratch it, Route, if you want.
Okay.
See, there's two
I
of me.
mean, my bad.
Those okay.
My copy and paste didn't work apparently.
Oh, my goodness. Don't take it personally, Chrissy, I paid him to do that.
Right.
Wait a minute, I haven't seen any money yet. Wait a minute here. All right. Cross that one off the list. Morning Mercy outreach for the old school building.
Good evening, hi.
How are you?
Thank you for giving me some time on your agenda tonight. I know it's really busy. I am Julie Huntsman, Executive Director of Morning Mercy Outreach. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We are committed to developing strong children, strong families, and strong communities. Our newest project is we are working to create a fostering home for mothers and children whose children would are at risk of being placed into foster care. And we probably have all seen the news, right, of what's happening in our state. Androscoggin County especially is the highest nationally of child abuse and neglect. And things around us are, as we all know, right? And the impact to children generationally is significant after they are away from their parents for more than 30 days, etc. Those adverse childhood experiences are huge. And so Morning Mercy is working to open a fostering home for moms and kids. And we heard through the grapevine that Canton may have an old school building that they were possibly looking to donate to a nonprofit. And so I was just coming to talk to you to see what your thoughts are, what your goals are, what the building is like, all of those pieces, right? Because as you know, trying to find a place and affordability to support families in our struggling communities is a lot. And so thank you so much.
I think the sticker was part of, the problem with the building is the building itself is falling in.
So unsafe.
Yeah, the building itself is very unsafe. It's full of asbestos. The roof is caving in. And the problem is it's been empty for so long that it's just.
I love the idea. I really do. I think it's
Mhm.
very needed program, I just think. You guys would be so financially trying to get that into,
And it is the other problem with it too, it's in the floodplain.
yeah.
So anytime it floods, the building is flooded.
Mhm. If the
That's-
building was salvageable, I would be like,
All over it.
absolutely,
Yeah.
100%, like, yes, I'm with you.
Probably like 5 to 8 years ago, it might have been salvageable, but this, at this point.
Yeah.
We had, we did apply for a brownfield grant and they went through and did testing for everything and that was completed and they did find. Things that need to be handled in a certain way and they couldn't even get on the roof because it was so unsafe, so. We know there's a lot of water damage in the roof system and it had needed to repair a long time ago and. It's just continued to deteriorate, so.
And so we're actually in the process of trying to find grants to tear the building down in an appropriate way. The problem is with that, once that happens, nothing else can get built there unless it gets
Raised.
raised,
She gets raised.
yeah, to be out of the floodplain. I wish I could, I wish
I
I'd
know.
be like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and honestly, if you know of or hear of, are you okay with me? I brought just some materials. Would you-
I would love
Yeah.
some materials, yes.
And there are
Ignore
certain,
the letter that I put together in there for you, but.
Before we, you know.
Grammar,
Sorry. My sister was an English teacher for many
Thank you.
years.
I love that.
is there a certain size or building that you're hoping to find or?
We would really like to be able to have 8 to 10 families if possible.
So good
And
size.
I mean, ideally, a school would be fabulous, but if you think about it, oftentimes they already have the sprinkler system, right?
Yeah.
They already have to worry about like paint, they have playground, they have
Mhm.
all of the things.
Mhm.
But quite honestly, being able to get into a space, we have people, guardian ad litems, we have CPS caseworkers that are saying, Julie, how fast can we get this going?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Have you looked into the old, oh, why am I drawing a mind blank on the name? The old nursing home in West Paris.
Yep, on Route 26.
Yeah,
That's been converted into apartments, I believe.
Oh, has
has
it?
it been?
What about when
Okay.
the, Mexico, the school gets built?
Oh,
They getting out of Rumford Elementary?
yeah,
There's
RBS is
rumor
gonna
that-
be empty.
Yeah, there's rumor there's something ready to go in there,
Oh,
but
really? Okay.
Did you say there's already something going into the old?
there's rumor about it. I don't know if it's true or not, but there was rumor about
You
some
could
talks on stuff starting for
contact-
it.
Maybe you guys.
But it
can
may
do
be
that.
interested,
RSU 10, contact them.
Yeah.
They can tell you.
yeah, reach out to RSU 10,
Yeah,
that
well,
would be both.
So that they don't.
What about
we
you?
heard nothing.
What's the old Livermore school, Livermore High School?
I know they use part of it for AYS, but I don't know what they do with the rest of it.
Mm,
We have talked to a couple individuals there as well,
Mhm.
seeing what might be available, but thank you so much, and if anything
Mhm.
comes up. Or you're interested, whatever, please absolutely reach out. It takes a community, it takes a tribe, honestly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if we're gonna turn this around for our state, it's gonna take all of us.
Do
Absolutely.
you have any of these homes in the state of Maine yet?
We do not, this is,
Can I have one?
you absolutely can, they do have. Perfect number.
So we're trying to turn your pop bubble into something positive.
Yeah,
I love that.
Like here,
you're speaking my language. I'm a social worker, so
You understand.
I completely
Very
understand,
good luck with
yes.
It's definitely a need, yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
all right, I am adding F to the agenda, I thought it was there and I didn't see it.
Is it where I was
Sorry.
gonna put for,
I'm
is
bad.
it where I was gonna put other business?
Oh, no, I was gonna add it in as F because it's, F is for foreclosures.
Yeah,
So
well,
I kind of.
right, I
we
wrote
should
it-
Right in there.
I wrote it down as other business.
Now that would be G.
Exactly. I wanted to point that out, but.
Yeah, that's
already.
I digress, so we're gonna talk about foreclosures.
Okay.
last meeting, in October.
Right.
Up to time when it was up, so I
Right.
took it off, and
Right,
then I tried to transfer it over, and I forgot
Yeah.
about it.
yeah. Yeah, I just noticed that too, and I said, ooh, when we get to other business.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to think, is
Nice.
least, so, stay on with least.
So we have. We have 6 and I heard rumors that a couple have paid.
Yep, paid the foreclosure portion of it.
Yep.
And then this third one came in, she did fill out, hardship.
yeah, I did see that.
And however, I don't think that's what she meant, because she, if you look in the description of requesting, she actually has a place of being able to pay up she has a plan
Yeah,
to pay up the,
so
foreclosure.
she's more GA sounding to me than,
You probably don't know.
is she the one that, Christie, was she the one that was chasing cars with us?
Oh,
Cause she kept talking about her grandson, putting him on the bus and she very,
sounds like your grandson was
Chatty.
younger than
Yes.
15 though.
yeah, it was her,
Yeah.
very chatty.
So she had a plan, she did pay $200 today, and, she has a plan to get it paid, the foreclosure portion of it by the end of November. If you guys are willing to do that.
And which,
And she currently, 211 Dearborn,
Yeah,
she
which,
currently lives there.
right, which name does that go with on our list?
Curtis,
That's not on
might be
there.
under Tibbet,
Okay,
the previous owner.
all right.
And she made a payment,
Today, $200 today. She owes $800.
Say, $600 more.
And she has a plan, she explained what her plan was to me.
So the other 2 that made payments were,
yeah.
Hebert
yeah,
and Small.
thank you.
Right here. Oh, I put my job description.
So we have the other 3.
Yeah. But nothing was-
No,
Were those, any of those ones that you tried to add?
Yeah, still came back. Yeah,
no.
Which, nope, before WGK, it should be the page before.
right there.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm looking at the mine.
It's in the
We have
that
the
one,
third.
property,
that one,
In the last.
This is checked.
and that one.
and that is
property
checked.
right
Or, I
next
mean,
to the bridge.
Yeah.
Yep.
She did that. And the minute.
I know that one is that on Dearborn?
Oh, maybe.
Is that,
I don't know.
what's that?
And then the one on the bottom is on here. Hill.
That's actually the October 12th.
Yes. It was back in.
Yeah. It's right before the WGK.
No, I know.
proposal.
It's
Oh,
not in my book.
okay.
Oh,
I took it out for whatever reason.
Bad girl,
I know.
So the first thing we will have to discuss is if we're going to accept anything for payments, because we had already said we were not going to. So that's something that if we're going to accept, then we would have to talk about it.
I would be okay with it if we set a date of December 31st, I mean, December 1st, and if she hasn't completed her obligation that she said, then we move it into.
Yeah, and there's no warning or effect.
It's eviction at this point. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
wanna,
And that's a process in itself.
I mean, the fact that she came in and made a payment on it and has a plan.
Well,
I'm-
actually,
So-
to give you a backstory, she actually came when she didn't get her notice. She came in to register a
Well,
vehicle and I passed
I-
it over to her.
Wow.
What happened on that is a lot of those that were returned to you.
It's
They're
post
supposed to-
office related, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
They were supposed to be sent out a second time and she didn't do it.
Then I'd be okay with giving
So,
until December 1st, to be perfectly
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
She just said, and chucked them back to the town instead of doing what she was supposed to do. So,
Those were sent regular mail too, though,
They did
correct?
both, I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the next step to the next, I know, question about the next one?
So that's what we're gonna touch on here in a second. So the one thing I will say, if we are going to accept payments, I want it in writing and I want it
Yes,
signed.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
we've been burned by that multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So that's my concern with
Yeah.
that.
My,
Yeah.
my only stipulation taking payments if it's not a long term,
Exactly.
Right.
It's-
very
no,
short. term.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
I
No,
agree. I
but
think
this-
December 1st is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go beyond that.
no,
Um,
no.
and I think it has to be, like I say, it has to be signed
Absolutely.
by
Mhm.
at least one of us or Angie
Yeah.
and the person as well.
And
Just
she's,
because I think, I don't want it to come back and bite us if it happens.
and so far, she's
Or
the
no.
only one that came in with the plan, right?
Yeah, the other ones came in and paid up and.
Yeah, the other two paid. And then,
The other three have not, they've not gotten notices, they've not.
Yeah.
Contacted us, I tried to
Uh,
get addresses.
well, I say, I know the Federhoff one, that one,
You're never gonna find it.
we've dealt with that
Yeah.
one for at least 3 years now, so
That's
that
it.
one's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Where is that one?
Right beside the bridge.
Right at the bottom of the,
We're
Hill by the
Pat George's
bridge.
here.
Oh,
Right on the
oh,
left.
yes, okay, yeah,
That's the one just like a garage on the property.
Correct.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, look at that one, yeah.
It's got the foundation wall and everything.
All
Go
right.
modular on, run it out.
I know.
So at this point, our our next official meeting
It's the 30th.
is going to be, so we're gonna meet twice that week.
Would we make it all?
Or do we
one?
just move it all
I
in?
would move it
We just
all.
move it all to the 28th and do it
Yes.
all, rather than meeting
Yes.
2 days later.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'd
I was
rather
gonna
just do
say
it all in
move it
one
all to
night,
the
but,
30th.
or we can move it all to 30th. Whichever way you want, I'd rather not push the tax
I
rate
know,
back
I
any.
yeah, let's do the
I know.
28th.
I'd rather bring our
28th,
meeting to
let's
Tuesday
just-
night. and-
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
just do a Tuesday night meeting.
So our next meeting is on November 28th, our next regular meeting. And I say we put out to bid the 3 properties we have left, we put those out to bid
To be open at that day.
to be opened at that date.
Yep,
My concern is I don't know how old Donna Walker is. If she's 65 or older, we can't go through this
She's
process. Okay,
Can we look that up in voter registration?
if she's living.
She's
We
got,
can't
I
even,
think maybe a state.
can't we do a state search?
Perhaps.
I can show
I
you a
think we
picture of
can.
her on Facebook. She's got.
That's what I was just looking up. on.
I got her right here on Facebook, because I was gonna reach out. to her about this going on. It's not my, everybody knows you gotta pay the taxes. You know,
So
Yeah,
what,
was the Federoff and her and who's the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got, no, Angela got some, she made, I don't know how old these people are.
so I-
Oh, yeah, she's not 65.
Doesn't look
pending age
65,
verification,
Unless she's
we will
aging
put
very
those out to
well.
bid,
So what's the project again?
first of next week. Post that these 3 properties are available. Or the minimum amount, my thought would be minimum amount would be the amount owed on the property.
mhm.
Can you?
I would say, yeah, total
About, does it have a
owed
birthday?
for whatever years.
Multiple
retail.
years, yeah,
Yeah.
because we know that a
Up to
couple of
currently.
these have multiple years,
Mhm.
Yeah,
so
so up to currently, not just that,
to pay it up to the current year.
yeah,
Um,
so that would be the minimum bid.
yeah, I would list that as the minimum bid, or do we not want to list the minimum? We've done it both ways in the past.
I would list the
So
minimum
definitely
bid.
minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
This and up for this particular property, this and up for this particular property.
Yeah. And list it with the amount of land available.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And or buildings or whatever is there.
Has this been done before, so I have maybe something I can find?
It's been done multiple times
Yeah.
before, yeah. Whether you can find it or not is another thing, but it has been done multiple times.
Well,
I believe another town recently,
I'd
Did
make
it.
sure to include the tax map.
Yeah, Jay did.
Map
Well,
lot number.
Map
Yeah.
lot.
Yep.
I was gonna say,
I'll look on their
I'm pretty
town
sure
page
we've
and
got
see if I can forward it to you.
I don't, because mine all
Well, you're
disappeared
just all-
naturally, but,
so, yeah.
Mm.
but yeah, I'm sure we can
Yeah.
come up with it, but.
So the answer to your question is, as soon as we get the bid proposals done, they will be posted, you will place a bid in the office, we will open it on 11/28.
So that's the next meeting too.
Correct.
Do
Yeah,
I need to be here for that meeting, or
No,
it's up to me?
no, it's just we require,
If you put in a bid and you win the bid, you'd be notified.
right, and we require.
Make sure you put your phone number
10%.
Yeah, and we do
So
by
the bidding on the 28th.
No, you can put it in anytime after. it's
anytime
posted.
after it gets posted, so hopefully beginning of the week it'll get posted, then you'll have up until.
I don't know what day is gonna be posted. After the 28th, you mean?
No, it'll be posted beginning of this coming week,
Oh,
hopefully.
yeah.
We
As
just
soon as we
gotta,
find the template and get it written out.
yeah, and then verify ages.
It'll get posted on the Facebook page, it'll
I'll
get,
call Angie anyway, too, I'm gonna be calling.
yeah, it'll be posted here in the office.
Yeah.
And like I say, but yeah, then we
10%
require 10% down by the, the bidding policy.
So
So
you
we have to
said
have a
you
10%
guys
check.
are going to cite what's holding taxes pretty much.
The
That's
total
the
amount
minimum
of,
bid.
That's a minimum.
yeah,
That's the minimum.
Yeah.
Which I think was 1,028, that's what you guys are.
Well,
There's insurance approved, there's interest approved.
yeah,
too.
yeah, so it would be,
Gonna be whatever taxes are owed up to current to bring that.
As
property
well
current.
as certified mailing fees, et cetera,
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but there'll be a number on the bid
Yeah.
sheet, so you'll know what the minimum would have to be,
Okay,
yeah.
And if you couldn't, if you didn't want, if you wanted to know what was going on during that meeting, couldn't make it here, you could always come sign on or by Zoom or just watch the live stream.
yeah, I
if
just
it
think
happens,
once
yeah,
before.
so. Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool.
What was the location you said, Facebook office, and there was another one you said? Proposed.
The
To do the paper?
box of the variety. We always post it in there, we should post it in the paper as well.
No, False Times or Sun Journal?
I would say the journal.
Yeah,
Probably to get the most response.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, you live more. They're going out of business now. I mean, think about it, nobody really gets a newspaper anymore.
They read online if they read real quick.
Yeah.
Newspaper anymore, hey.
You haven't
That's
used up
true.
all your Jews.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't even get previews anymore.
Oh,
There is
is
a-
that? Oh, I'm trying
A little
to,
town crier.
yeah, quarterly.
Alright, so we'll check that one off the list, it is in progress.
Nice.
And the delay time before you get the, please sign up, is really short now.
Oh,
It's like
my
1 second.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah, yeah, you used to be able to read a little bit, now you can't.
Yeah.
why is that?
Thank you, guys, have a good night.
Thank you.
Nice.
Alright, other business,
When you go online, try to look at an article
I
online.
took your other business?
Be able to
You
look
did
at
take
it
my
like
other
5
business.
seconds slow before, go to an ad, now all of a sudden it goes right to an ad.
Are they right on? If they want people to sign up.
Other business,
Subscribe.
other business? Going once, other business? Yay, okay. Approval of the warrants, AP warrants, number 10,737.64. Number 31, 179,312.80. Payroll number 28, 4,350.23. Number 30, 4,111.76. Number 32, 4,963.67.
Approve as read.
Second,
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay,
Our public left.
I don't know.
Mary Ann, you have any comments?
Questions when you guys are done there.
That works.
Yeah.
Committee reports, do we have anything?
no, I went over to an EMA meeting. When was it?
Did you plead for us? I can't bother.
We went over grants and stuff, and there's a hazard mitigation grant.
Mhm.
And she said, go through public assistance if you can, because the grants is way much more paperwork. And I said, you gotta be kidding. So she said, pursue that until it.
Yeah.
She said, we'll have better luck.
But I didn't know where that was already on our. You know,
Yes.
our plan.
The
if it
medication
would-
list.
And that's why they're looking at it.
Right,
Yeah.
if that would bump us any.
Yes, she's better off because it's on our list
Okay.
to go that route.
Very good.
So at the same time we're getting that done, do we request info on putting the dry hydrant in at the fire department? That's
Could it be, and or could we just, even if we float the cost of it? And
Right,
if-
yeah,
if-
I don't, they wouldn't cover that.
Right, I'm just saying, I mean, if we could work
Yeah.
it into the same,
The. My initial answer is no. Because that happened before July.
Yeah.
Our new plan goes into effect, well, it hasn't been officially approved yet, but
Yeah.
would go into effect in
Okay.
July. So we'd be still working on the old.
Yeah.
But if they're doing the work,
I was gonna say, we're not gonna
Do it
be
at
close
the
with
time.
everything dug up, so.
right? You can ask them about it.
Mhm.
certainly something we can include.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'll just
Other
say,
than the fact that they were supposed to be fixing the septic issues at the, was it 3 Main Street, Angie, 5 Main Street?
Yeah.
It's one of those
the
two.
brick building
Yes, the
in the
brick-
center of town.
I mean, yeah, 13 is right, there's 3.
Yeah.
So hopefully they
Post
get,
office building?
well, yeah, just blur.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you to Andy and David for covering the dump
Yes.
for,
Yes.
so the gym could have some time off.
Yeah, they are, I don't know who had it yesterday, but I know they're splitting Saturday, and then whoever didn't have yesterday is having it next Wednesday, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Sure.
Well, the tanker's here, so everybody got that email. Yay,
Yeah.
finally.
I saw it.
I got the text from Jason and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
about
I
time.
text back, I'm like, really? Question mark.
So that's good news. And let's see, the last soccer game is, I believe, this weekend. And then that wraps up rec until baseball.
What does rec do with, basketball stuff in the winter time? Do they play the like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that
So,
what that
right,
is?
so there are basketball signups, yeah, and then we do, pay fees for anybody that wants to play.
Usually we,
So,
yeah, usually Kim posts it on the page and says, you know, if you're interested, just let either her or somebody know, that way we know how many kids and
Yeah.
just work with the rec center to pay the bill. And that way it covers it.
I do wanna have a little powwow about the storage container or whatever. we're
Slash,
gonna
snack
get,
shack,
slash,
Yep,
yeah,
yep, I do
So,
too.
yeah,
The one thing
so,
I was gonna add is I wanna talk to Kim about closing up the snack shack and
yeah,
getting stuff put away and
yeah.
taking all the nets and stuff down after soccer.
Well, and even like, what are we gonna do as a committee on getting to replace the shed that we
Yeah.
had gotten the money for and.
Yeah.
We had talked about a storage container, we talked about another shed.
Mhm.
I still have that text from Tom about the storage, if
The
we went with
cost.
the Connex. from-
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, and that hasn't been, but I'm thinking as the snow, as we go into winter, we're gonna wanna make
Yeah.
a decision, or at least by
Definitely.
the spring before baseball
Right.
season starts to have some place to.
Yeah.
Having the baseball equipment in the dugouts was not a
It
good
didn't work.
idea
No, it didn't work
last,
at all.
last year, so, or this past year. But yeah, so that's it, reckon. Fire.
Perfect. Christine?
The trunk or treat went very well.
Lots of kids.
Yeah, got a lot of kids and,
We figured
Yeah.
there must have been around 130,
Nice.
and Pat White was talking with one family. And it ended up, it was the father and his kids, and he was actually from Lewiston and said that.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything down that way was canceled, he saw we were still having hours. And wanted to give his kids some sense of normalcy, so brought him up.
Mhm.
Good.
sounds good.
Yeah.
And Parks and Trails is pretty well shut down.
Down for now.
They've been dormant all year. Good enough.
It's been a very slow year,
Yeah,
thanks to
a
the
rough
flooding
year.
of the trail, every other thing. and-
But it was so much fun to see all the kids and families that
Oh,
had came out for the trunk or
Yeah.
treat. That
Buddy
was
must have been
awesome.
exhausted.
He played that part really well.
He was freaking crazy.
My husband had muscle cramps for 2 days.
That and your leg shrunk.
That was good.
It was a good time. The Snowmobile Club had fun too. It was,
Yeah.
it was a good time getting everybody out.
Uh,
With everything going on, it was nice to see people with smiles on their faces and
Yeah. Yeah.
not really worrying about things, so
Yeah.
that was nice. The town spent roughly $120-ish on candy,
That's,
so that's roughly what we spent.
And most people
120 or
donated their
121.
leftovers to the villa
Yep,
or their trick or treat.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't have to reach beach.
and I still have one really big bag left, so I don't know what we wanna do with it, but I have one really big bag to go somewhere.
We can
'cause-
put it in a bowl on the table here.
Can we make a little drawer?
Far away
Just
from
slide
me.
drawers?
But yeah, so we have that, like I say, it was I think 100 or 121, something like that. But
Well, I appreciate that, because I had to re-up.
there were a
on
few
my
people that,
candy.
yep, no, it worked out good, because there were a few people that ran out,
Yeah.
so it worked out perfect to kind of pass the bags around, and make
Yeah.
sure everybody had enough for the last couple groups that came in,
Yeah,
and,
and give some to the villa, that was pretty
Yeah.
nice too, so.
and I've heard they had a good turnout there as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
so.
Oh,
but-
Liz said they had a large turnout, so.
And
So,
you-
yeah,
I have a general assistance audit November 16th.
Good times.
That sounds like fun.
sounds a little dry.
Hmm. Yeah. Any other questions, comments for the board? What do you want to talk about with the plaques?
Do I try it up there again? Or,
So we've had trouble getting the place, we've had the nameplates done for the plaques actually being open and
I've been
have,
there 4 times.
oh,
so do we want to try a different place or do we want to get them online? How do we want to attack that?
This
Just
is the year and the Boston Post came, which are now in my car.
the nameplates.
Yeah,
Has anybody priced them online?
no, my last trip up there was this
Today.
morning. So, yeah. I'm not having any of that.
I mean, like I said, we can try it online and then the other option is main awards and Lewiston, that's the other one I know
say, what about
of.
Lewiston over, yeah.
Mm,
I
You
can,
can price them out online, just see what they are,
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, we just have to measure
Yeah.
them and see what size they are and then.
all right, so I'll do some homework and try to get something.
yeah,
That's good.
I'm sick of having them in my possession, because. Right the Dixie, and they come home, and they write the Dixie, and they come home.
Yeah, no, we should get them updated, that way we can get them in.
I'm trying.
When they come back, I would like to,
Hang them?
along with, there's some stuff in the vault that I wanna get
Yeah.
hung up too.
Yeah.
A bunch of our stuff from Bicentennial is in the vault that we really ought to hang up, and
So I
the
have this
flag ought to get hung.
crazy. Stupid. Thought. Because when we had. Uncle Cornelius's portrait for
Mhm.
bicentennial,
Yep,
I took many photographs of it.
Mhm.
And. I toyed with the idea of painting one the same size.
Mhm.
To go along with that,
mhm.
so if that's something anybody thinks would be.
You wanna get working on
Yeah, I'll do that tonight.
it? I mean, if you can have it done by the next meeting, it'd be great.
See what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
no pressure, no
Yeah,
pressure.
there's no pressure at all, but you know,
It's a month, right?
yeah, exactly.
That's true, it is, you're right. What'd you guys be, if I did come in with it?
I think it'd be a great idea. It was nice when it was in here.
Yeah, it
For the
was.
short time it was.
Yeah.
But and I think. If we do get that, and even if we don't too, like I said, I'd like to get all the other stuff
Yeah,
hung up, and
definitely, yeah.
now that they've got the walls painted, I think it would be nice
Yeah.
to get the stuff up and.
So to update you, the photograph, the portrait that we're talking about was Cornelius Holland, who was. One of the first kind of political bigwigs in town. So,
We had a copy of a big painting like that for any
We actually had-
bicentennial that we
yeah,
had
his
here.
actual. one
But
of the
then it
most
went back
famous.
to the New Orleans after that,
Yeah.
so.
Mhm. I tried, I weaseled and weaseled, and they wouldn't part with it.
Yep.
But it's written, when it was gifted to them, it was written that it was to be part of their collection, so. But I might be smart enough to be able to redo a replica. Yeah.
All right, so we will take a. Quick recess to answer Marion's questions and then we'll go into executive session. Number
Right,
one and then
adjourn.
number two.
Do I have to adjourn out of this one?
Yes.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? So, great, sounds good.